Welcome back to Accurate One. In this video, we're going to talk about data types. In the previous video, we talked about variables in Python. And now we're going to talk about the types of data this variable can store in themselves. All right, let's begin. So the first data type we're going to talk about is a string or str. Okay? So a string is for textual data in Python or mostly in any other programming languages. Okay, so I create a variable called a and I put a hello world message inside like this. So you can see it's between two double quotations, okay, or double quotes. Or I can do it with single quotes. There we go. They are the same. And if I print them, I would see them in the output. And if I print the type of A, okay, I would see that the type of them are str or string. Okay, there you go. The next data type I'm going to talk about is integer or int. Okay, so int is for decimal numbers, positive or negative. Okay, so for example, 23 or -5. If I print a, I would see -5. Okay, why? Because the interpreter or the background program in Python, when you press the run, will run this code line by line. Okay, so first line 1, then line 2, then line 3 till the end. Okay, so it will first assign number 23 to variable a, then -5, and then it's gonna print a. Okay, so and then I'm gonna print the type of a, and there you go. So then 5 negative, and the type is int. Okay, and the next data type I'm going to talk about is for floating point numbers, which we call them float here. Okay, so you define the a again, and you put numbers like this. So for defining the fractional part, you use the dot character like this, and you can print a, so simple, and then print type of a like this. There you go. So we can see 2.5 and the type is float. The next one is kind of optional. It's complex. It comes from mathematics, and we can study more about them, but we're not going to use them a lot in the course. So we simply define them like this, for example, like any other numbers, and then print a and print type a like this. And if I run the code, the type is complex. So I suggest to memorize these three very well because we're going to use them a lot and they are really necessary for programming. Okay. The next data types we're going to talk about are collections. Collections are basically a data type to store a bunch of anything or something, okay? Like bunch of ints, bunch of floats, bunch of objects, all right? So let's begin. The first one is list, okay? We use list to store list of something, okay? So let's define a equals to, for defining a list, you use a square bracket character like this, and then you can put your numbers or items here like 2, 4, 6, 8. Then let's print A and print type of A. All right, there you go. So you can see the type is list, and this is the way we show it in the output. I'm gonna remove this too. So the first thing comes to mind is how we can access these items. All right, so for example, I'm gonna write print and I want to access 6. Okay, so accessing the items in the list is based on index. Okay, so index is the order of the items in a list. It starts from 0. So the first item is 0, then 1, then 2, then 3. Okay, so if I want to access 6, I'm going to count 0, 1, 2. So the index of value 6 is 2. A square bracket 2. There we go. If I clear here, Python 3, hello.py, there you go. I can see number 6 here. Okay, so for example, if I want to access 4 and 6 together, okay, so I'm going to count. This is 0, this is 1, so I say I want 1, 2, and I want 6 as well, but I don't want 8. Okay, so I'm going to write 3. The last index here, what comes in the output. There we go, just 4 and 6. So simple. Okay, so if I remove 3 from here, it's going to start from index 1. Okay, so from here to the end. Okay, all right, if I remove 1 and put 3 here, it's gonna start from beginning to index 3. So 2, 4, 6. It won't consider the index 3, the end one. All right, so there we go. 2, 4, 6. Okay, so that's how we access the part of the array or list. Okay, and I'm gonna talk about some methods in a list. So for example, if I want to add an item to the end of the list, I'm going to use a.append. All right, so for example, I'm going to add 10 and then print a. There you go. You can see the 10 added here. Or if I like, I can remove 6, then run the code. You can see the 6 is not here anymore. Or I can actually join two lists together. For example, I'm gonna write 10, 12, and 14, and then write a.extend b. There we go. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Okay, so extend method will join these two lists together. Okay, I can also copy lists. Okay, like this. A.copy and show the b. So it will copy list A to variable b. There you go. So b is the same as A right now. Okay. So the next data type I'm going to talk about is tuple. All right. So the difference between tuple, let me just comment this one, comment this one, this one, this one, and this one. So the difference is you can change the items in a list directly, but in tuple you cannot. So you define a tuple with parentheses like this, and you put your numbers here or anything else. and then you can just print it like this, run the code. There you go. So this is the tuple. Okay, let me clear my terminal. And if I, for example, change one of the items to something else, like a2 equals to 5, I would get an error. Here we go. So tuple object does not support item assignment. Okay, which we could do it for list. Okay, and we can actually change it by converting a tuple to a list, change that item, and change that list or convert that list to a tuple, and then use the new tuple as the like a new tuple. Yeah, you can use tuple in some problems that you don't want to change the items, so it will prevent you to make some mistakes during like solving that problem, right? So that's a good data type, to use when you don't want to change the items. The next one is set. Okay, so set, let me just show it to you. I give you an example. You define it with a curly bracket like this, and when you print it, you would see this. So you can see there is no duplicate numbers here anymore. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But here we have 3, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 4, and 3, 5. So set data type or data structure is really useful when you want to uh, solve problems when they ask you, for example, no duplicate users or no duplicate items, or remove duplicates, or how many unique items are in the list. Okay, that's really useful when you're trying to solve those problems. You can also do something cool, like for example 2, 2, 3, 3, and 4. Okay, they have union function. So let me just add one more item, like 6. The first one doesn't have 6, but the second one has 6. Okay, so if I get a union from here and then print a, sorry, I have to put it in a. There you go. So you can see it will get a union with a and b. All right. So it would check what items are on in A and B both. Okay, so which is this one. You can also get into a section. Okay, so it would be 2, 3, and 4. There we go. Okay, so what are the similar items in A and B? It should be in A and B both. Okay, so it's 2, 3, and 4. And we can also get a difference. The items are in A, which is not in B. It's 1 and 5, right? So it's really cool, and it's also really useful for some kind of problems. And let me comment this one. The next one is dictionary or dict. Okay, so you need to know we ordered our list with index, also the tuple. So you could access the items with index, but in set we don't have that, so it's unordered. Okay, so for accessing, for example, one of these items, should just say a.pop. Okay, it will get you the last one. For example, it's put it in the B and show the B. Sorry, the first one. It would be 1. And if I try it again, it would be 2. Okay, so it would take this one, put it in a B, so you won't have 1 anymore. And then it would take this one and put it in a B again, and you don't have 2 anymore. So if I print A like this, it would be just 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's unordered. If you change the insertion order here, it will change the way you're going to get from the pop. And in dictionary, our order is different. We have keys and values. Okay, so it would be like this. A equals to curly bracket, the key 1, for example, colon, and value 1. So the key 1 is referring to value 1. If I print A, so instead of index, I write a key, okay, which is, for example, key 1. If I run the code, I would see value 1. There we go. So that's how I access in a dictionary. It's really good when you're trying to store some specific data in your program. For example, capital and the country, or language and the code for that language. Or for example, user ID and the user information. So for example, in the key, you store the user ID, and in the value, you can store the user information. Okay. For the next item, you can use key 2, for example, and value 2. Okay, I can access that one like this again. Or I can add another item like this after the creation. Call this value 3, and there you go. Okay, here it is. So we can see the value 3 added to the dictionary. I can easily print the whole dictionary like this. It will add it. Okay, and also it has update method like this. I can give a new dictionary and it will update this array, sorry, this dictionary based on this dictionary. Okay, so I'm gonna, for example, add key 3, colon, and value 3. There you go. So we can see this one added to the dictionary by updating the first dictionary. Okay, we're gonna talk about dictionaries more in the session for loops, because it's gonna be complicated if I want to go through the details of this data type. But also we have boolean or bool, which is just true or false, like yes or no. We use it for conditions. We're going to use it more in if statement session. We also have none, to referring nothing. A is none, it's nothing. All right. We also have byte, which is like this. So if you put a B behind a string, it will consider it as a binary sequence. Okay, so for example, you can use it for saving files or images, or writing them somewhere it's really cool when you're when you want to work with files. Okay, so these are just some of the data types in Python, and we're gonna talk about them more in examples. But that's all. See you then.